Hello everyone, welcome back to the artoftrading.net. This is Trader Stewie with you here. I wanted to do a video today, talking about a few trades that we did this week, or last week rather. These are trades, uh, that we took on the short side. So I just wanted to go over and just quickly, discuss why we did these trades and how they worked out for us, but more importantly, why we took these trades and what we saw in them for us to take shorts about a week or so ago in this trade. So let's go ahead and take a look at first one is NOV, which is an oil. It's an oil stock, and as you can see here on this day on July 26th. What we see here is a big breakout here in the stock. It had a huge day here on July 26th. Big candle, gaps up here, starts running immediately, and then up over. It was up, 9-10% at one point, and right off the open. And as you can see here, guys, on the daily chart, this is the daily chart of NOV, and what really caught my attention in this one, it was a big breakout on a huge volume, and this is bullish. This is normally very bullish. So, however, in a market like in the market that we've been trading in the last 3, 4, 5 months, what we've been seeing is many breakouts have been failing. So usually when you see in the last, or in the last few months at least, when we see big moves like this, where a stock gaps up and then breaks out and starts running, if you take a look at the stock a few days later, you'll see that chances are very high that it's probably failed. Now, this is usually a sign that you're dealing with in a weak market, where longs cannot sustain an uptrend for too long, or um, or bulls don't have enough conviction, in the to keep trends going for too long. So what we have been seeing is breakouts tend to fail, and you'll see that in many names. But let me just go through exactly what we saw in this one, just to kind of give you an idea of why we took a short in what I call, this is a counter trend short. So right now, even though the stock has been going down for a while, this breakout here, it kind of clears the range here. You can see that there was a multi-week range where it broke out of it on a huge volume. So this technically is a bullish signal. However, I was looking to play a very short-term short play in this one. So basically on the daily chart, you had a big breakout, huge volume. So let's go ahead and zoom in on into the 5-minute chart, which is really what caught my attention for this trade. And as you can see here, this is the daily chart. This is the 5-minute chart of this candle right here. So this daily candle here, this is what the 5-minute chart looks like. And as you can see, guys, here, look, it gaps up, big gap up, and then starts running immediately. Huge volume, as you can see down here. Big volume here, right on the breakout. So technically, this is a bullish sign. If you're looking to play, over a longer or a more, an intermediate term, or or a multi-days, a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks, technically this is a bullish sign. However, like I mentioned earlier, many breakouts have been failing. So to me, chasing a stock that breaks out and starts to run, if you try to chase it up here, probably not a very wise idea. Even though in this case it kept running, a lot of times once you chase a moves like this, especially if you're looking for short-term intraday, or 1 or 2 day moves, there's a very high chance that you might see display fail a few days later. So you have to be very careful when you chase. But anyway, let's get back here, and so you can see stock gaps up, runs, has a little mini pullback here, very small little pullback on the 5-minute chart, and then boom, keeps running again. So basically it went from $67 right here the day before. It closed at 67.30, gaps up to 68.80, and then runs, pulled back here a little bit, and then kept running all the way. So it went from 67.30 all the way up to 73.30. Okay, so this is a really big move, and as you can see from this daily candle here, it's a huge move. So too big of a move, in my opinion, to sustain intraday. So what I was looking for at this point, once we saw this parabolic run here, parabolic, you can see how the stock ran up non-stop here for several candles in a row here. So this was getting a little bit euphoric based on what I was seeing. So now what I was looking for, now I'm looking for signs that the stock is starting to get tired out. It's starting to get overbought. It's starting to get a little on the frothy side, and at some point, I mean, there will be some profit takers. When you have a move like this, eventually people are gonna look to take profits. And at this point, I was looking for a counter trend short play. So right away, what caught my attention is this candle over here. This little candle after this big run here. This little candle right here. This little red reversing candle. Kind of like an upside down hammer candle. And as you can see here, you can see on this candle right here, once we start to see the stock give us this little candle, that told us that chances are now the stock has gotten to a point where profit takers can come in and look to lock in gains, and hence causing some selling in the stock. That's what I was anticipating for this one, and all based on this candle, but more importantly on this volume. When I started to see a big red big volume like this here, the highest volume of the day pretty much on this 5-minute candle, and then this inverted hammer here, a red inverted hammer, that was kind of my cue. Hey, let's take a look at this one on the short side now, just for a quick short-term intraday, day trade. So right away, I was looking for hints to see if this one's going to start to weaken. Just because you have a candle like this doesn't mean that you automatically the stock has to sell off. That's not true at all. You have to look for more clues. So once we located that candle and we were ready to anticipate a short in this one, so right away I was looking to get in around somewhere if it started to weaken below this candle over here. So right away I issued the alert to short NOV at 72.65. That was our entry for this one, guys. Okay, so right around right here, that was our entry. So initially the stock fell. It went from 72 from 72.65, and it dropped quickly to 72.06. So if you were a little bit too slow, or if you have to be very quick to get into this one. So a lot of members were not able to catch it initially. However, like I always tell people, if you missed the initial alert, just stay focused, or at least watch it, or at the very least have limit orders in to get you in maybe like a few minutes later. And that's exactly what the stock did. It came back up, and it went through our short entry, which was 72.65. It came back up here to 72.80, and then quickly started to drop very nicely. We had a stop loss right above here, guys. So I mean, we were risking just a few pennies here. It was a very low risk short entry, in my opinion, especially if you're looking for a day trade or a 1 or 2 day type trade. It was a very low. As you can see, guys, here, one thing I forgot to mention on the daily chart here, what you see is the stock as it was breaking out here, it was starting to break through the Bollinger Bands. This is a very important point, guys. I've totally forgot to discuss this one earlier. You see how it was extending past the Bollinger Bands over here? This Bollinger Band, it's basically, it will tell you if a stock is overextended or oversold on a very short term basis. So as you can see here, I love to use Bollinger Band plays as when a stock starts to get overstretched or understretched below the Bollinger Band. So as you can see here in this case here, the stock fell below the Bollinger Bands after several days sell-off. So that tells you that the stock is a little bit too oversold. So you have to be very careful here if you're looking to short it around here. So as you can see, the stock snaps back after it went through the Bollinger Band on the lower end here, and as you can see here, the stock extended through the upper Bollinger Band, which signaled to me that the stock was short-term, quite overbought on a very short-term basis. So therefore, it would make sense, at least not to long it. And if you're trying to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe a short play would have been good. So this is exactly what we did with this one. We spotted this candle after a beautiful parabolic run here, non-stop beautiful run. We spotted a reversal candle here on huge volume. which told us that a top was very, very likely in intraday for the stock. So as you can see, we entered the short here. Some people missed the original short entry here. That's okay. The stock came back up. Anybody who had limit orders, anybody who was watching it closely, or if they asked me in the chat room, can I short it here? My answer was yes. We got to get in around this area here. We got to get in somewhere, because right now short term this stock looks like it's topped out to me here. So now we're looking to short it. 72.65 was the entry. A lot of people got on board on this one, and it slowly but surely started to work in our favor. And I love trades like this where they break quickly in your direction, can come back up, on very, very low volume. As you can see here, very low volume once it snapped back. So that gave me even more conviction to enter. Whoever missed the short on this one, to re-enter here, because look at the volume, very, very low volume once it came back up, and it started to roll over again, guys. Look at this. And then beautiful, and then look at that. And now once it broke the 20 period moving average, that's when I really got excited, because usually stocks that are in very, very strong trends tend to respect their 20 period moving average on most time frames. And you'll see this on daily charts, you'll see this on especially on 5-minute intraday charts. Stocks that have very, very strong trends usually like to stay above or very, very near their 20-day moving their 20 period moving average, I should say. So as you can see here, guys, we entered at 72.62. The stock kept dropping nicely here. I was looking for a day trade. When I sent out the alert, I made it very clear I was looking for a day trade. Mostly I was not looking to swing trade a short, on a stock that's breaking out like this. So this was purely a day trade, a short-term mean reversion play. So I was looking for a snapback, within a trend intraday. So the trend intraday was up, clearly up. I was looking to fade that and to get into a counter trend intraday short. So that's exactly what we did. We ended up exiting the trade at 71.55. So we made about $1.10 on the trade. That's not a bad gain at all, especially given that you are playing a short, on a counter trend here, on a counter trend, strong uptrend. So this was it was a good, just another idea to have in your toolbox. Just another play, that helps you, spot these. Maybe you can, have a scanner or a program that helps scan these big intraday runs like that. And then, as a trader, your job is to maybe like look for these intraday patterns that look like this candle here, and ups and an inverted hammer on huge volume, which tells you that a short term, a top is likely in. So maybe risk reward favors a short. You enter a short here on a break of this candle, below this candle, put a stop loss at the high of the day. And as you can see here, the stock worked nicely. It found support near the 20 period moving average. You guys hopefully noticing this. Even though it dropped below it here temporarily, it quickly recaptured it, and it flirted around the area. Even though it kept flirting up and down near that 20 period moving average, and then just like most strong stocks that have big volume, and if they respect and they hold that 20 period moving average, chances are buyers will likely come back and take it higher again. So it makes sense, once you enter a short like this on a counter trend trade like this, you better be, make sure that you have your stops ready. Once the stock starts to become profitable, as many other trading members know, I like to quickly move stop losses, trail them in my favor, so that when I exit, I make sure I'm exiting with gains. Especially when you have a stock, that's made you over $1 profit, in just intraday. So you don't want to make sure that you don't give any profits back once the trade is that profitable. Here's what the trade looks like a few days later. So as you can see, this was the candle that we were playing. We got a nice little short from it intraday, and as you can see here, guys, a few days later, the Bollinger Band, you can see it was resistance indeed. The stock came down a little bit here, but as you can see, it ended up looking like a bull flag here. So the Bollinger Band was indeed resistance, as it capped off the run short term, came back down, and then quickly the stock took off again. And look at the volume, guys, a huge volume here. So to me now, I'm viewing the stock in the next few days as a long candidate. So as you can see, it broke out, it's starting to run. So now any dips that you see here, any small consolidations here, would probably be a bullish, a reason to look for longs in this one right now. So I hope this video helps, guys. And this was one of the trades that we did last week, and I'll do here a few more to just to also describe to you what we did in other short plays that had very similar techniques to this one. All right, good luck, guys.